Welcome to Tuesday Travel Chat. I'm one of your hosts, Julia.
And I'm Bob, your other host for today.
Today we are going to be talking about our top 5 major trips that you need to be start to plan right now so that you're prepared for 2022. In the meantime, we are going to begin with some news. Well, Bob, let's get to it with the cruise news.
Definitely. Well, the cruise news is the cruise restart. We've had a lot of great things happening. The Celebrity Millennium sailed out of St. Martin. The Adventure of the Seas sailed yesterday with 1,000 fully vaccinated passengers. And we have guests on that ship, so we're going to be talking to them when they come back to get their experience. Cruise lines are moving forward with opening their ships. NCL will be opening soon. Royal Caribbean's first sailing will be July with paying guests. Celebrity starts June 26th to the Western Caribbean with a 7-night cruise. So there's a lot going on. Lots of cruise news.
One thing I want to address, Bob, is the major headline that I think everybody saw over this past week.
Yes.
Let's address that.
Celebrity Millennium, 980 passengers sailed. Fully vaccinated, everyone vaccinated. 2 people came down supposedly with COVID. They found out on the second to last day of the trip when everyone had to take a COVID test so they could get back to the United States. So the people were actually, they were isolated and flown home. Can't officially say it, but it appears it was a false positive.
Yeah, we're not sure. But the big thing was, if you just read the headline and you never read in or followed up with this story, it sounded like, oh no, there goes cruising, because they made it all very sensational. But in the end, when we've talked to people that were on board during that time, they said that nothing skipped a beat. They isolated quickly. They said it was just proof that the cruise industry has really created a solid process for when that happens, and that the mood on board didn't change. They just did everything per procedure, and everything went ahead as normal, except for those 2 guests, of course.
The isolation protocols worked. That's the best thing to say.
Well, and now as far as the return to service, we can just take a quick look. I know that some of the protocols are out. Depending on the state, that's the major thing that's happening right now, because we have different rules depending on the government in each state. So if you're embarking in Seattle, guests who are 16 years of age or older must be fully vaccinated, and those 12 or older as of August 1.
Exactly, as of August 1st. The big puzzle is Florida. The Florida state law says you cannot ask if someone is vaccinated. That is a law in the state, which is a $5,000 per incident penalty. And we know someone's going to try it. Someone's going to test it to see if the cruise line gets this. But if you cannot prove that you're vaccinated, you will have to undergo additional testing, and you are responsible for those additional costs at the pier. And if something happens on board the ship, they will still isolate you, but you could be charged with additional fees. So that means basically be vaccinated when you travel. Avoid the mess, avoid the rush.
Well, and for Seattle, for sure, for Florida, the good news is they are creating options. So if someone is just can't wait to get on that cruise, you can go, even if you're not vaccinated, but the process will be a bit trickier, a bit lengthier. And so that's the decision that people have to make, is whether or not they want to go through all that, if they are in fact not vaccinated at this point.
One further point, the CDC and the state of Florida, the lawsuit is still going on. They did reach somewhat of an impasse, according to the news I saw yesterday. So we don't know what the full extent is going to happen with the lawsuit, but it is being rushed through the courts because of the definite impact.
Texas, we are still waiting to see what's going to happen. The key to note, though, is this is still ongoing. Things are constantly changing. CDC continually is easing up. So we just need to take it day by day, cruise by cruise, And if you have cruises planned, just know we will keep you posted as things continue.
Definitely.
All right. Next on the news, Bob, let's talk about American Airlines.
American Airlines and Virgin Airlines, after decades of development for a vertical takeoff plane, American Airlines and Virgin Airlines have committed to purchases. I believe they will be flying in 2028 or 29. Along with supersonics, which is something. Another story we'll deal with another time. But they are going to do vertical takeoffs and landings. What this is going to do, this is going to open up the ability to build smaller hub airports closer to the center of cities. The footprint needed for a vertical takeoff plane is nothing like the miles of runways you need. Yes, you need a little runway, but when you're going straight up and down, you don't have to have that takeoff approach. So we think that's really going to open up some of these smaller cities around the country where airports have closed or really reduced their footprint. This could be a game changer for a lot of places, and especially for commuters in New York, Chicago, Orlando. Orlando, Florida. We have 3 airports within an hour of each other, but we could use another, and this will fill it.
And next is, let's talk about Hawaii. Hawaii has been hot. I mean, it has been one of the biggest destinations for U.S. domestic travel. Fantastic option. But there is a new option. New travel option. Yes, Holo Holo. It's a new locally owned rideshare service in Hawaii, available on Oahu, Kauai, Maui, island of Hawaii, and Lanai.
Yes.
This is just going to be another option for people to travel, especially in the shortage. It's kind of like a shuttle situation. We're learning more and more about it, but this is great because I do know that if you do not book your cars far in advance, it's been a major issue. And this looks to be really innovative and really exciting for tourists in Hawaii, Bob.
Yes. It looks like the setup is going to be similar to rideshare cars that are available in New York and Chicago and in some of the major cities in Europe. It'll be at a certain place. You'll have an app. The app will open the car and you get in, and then you'll be charged for how long you drive.
And it connects the drivers like an Uber situation.
Yeah, it's like an Uber situation than just having a car sitting there. Details still coming out. It was just released this morning. We just got this news in, or yesterday afternoon.
Just today we saw it.
Today. So we'll let you know more about it. But for Hawaii, it probably is a very good option for you if you're traveling to Hawaii.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay, quick news today. So let's jump into our top 5. I think, Bob, it's people are itching to get out now, and we really want to dive into summer and all of those summer holidays. But at the same time, everybody's been cooped up for the last year and a half, and 2022 is booking up fast. And I don't think this can be said enough. You just told me this morning, Bob, how important it is that people are looking into that.
Yes, most of our suppliers I talk daily or weekly with most of our main suppliers, and what we're finding is that 2022, even into early 23, are booking at a rate 40% higher than 2018, which was the last best full year. Well, 2019, 40% faster. So here are the top 5 trips that if you're going to do something, you better plan them now.
Okay, let's start with number 5.
Oba Amagao. Oba Amagao is a passion play. For those of you who don't know what a passion play is, in the 14th or 15th century, Oba Amagao prayed to an icon of Jesus and said, if you spare us from the Black Plague, we will pay homage to you every 10 years with a play that all of the villagers appear in. So a year before they start, the villagers start growing their hair, start making costumes. It is all put on by the village. These people have been some families have been doing it for 10 generations. So they do 2 sets of plays. They do a Protestant and a Catholic version of Oba Amagao. There is still space because it normally takes place in 2022. Because 2020 couldn't happen. People who were going to Oba Amagao have either moved or couldn't go for whatever conflict. So there is still some space left. But if you want to see this this is the time to make the bookings. There is still space on river cruises, on some of the land packages. Yes, we can get you there, but we can't get you there in 2 months. So book now.
Book now, because it's booking up fast. Yes. And it's May through October of 2022. Again, it's 2 years of waiting for this. Actually 10 plus, isn't it every 10 years, Bob?
Every 10 years, yes.
Every 10 years plus the extra 2 that people have been waiting. So the 2020 people have been waiting. And so it's exciting that finally 22.
The best times to go, mid-September to October, April and May. You don't have as many tourists, but the countryside is gorgeous. It'll be turning into the fall in October, and it'll be the colors will be coming out in May. So keep that in mind.
Okay, let's move on to number 4.
Her Majesty the Queen. June 2nd to the 5th of 2022, she is celebrating her Jubilee, her 70th year on the throne. Longest reigning monarch in British history, 4th longest reigning monarch in the world history since about the year 1000. What this means is, if you want to go and participate in the Jubilee, and we have a lot of Anglophiles that want to follow whatever the Queen does, she's going to be 96 next year. If you want to go, you need to make plans now. If you don't have them within 3 months, it's going to be very hard to get hotels. It's going to be very hard to get airfare. It's going to be hard to do anything. Conversely, if you don't want all of that hoopla, don't plan your travel from the first week of June in England. Go the week before or go the week after. But they're declaring bank holidays, so banks will be closed, stores will be closed for the Queen's Jubilee. If you're going over for theater, theaters will be closed, all because they're celebrating Her Majesty's 96th birthday and 70th anniversary on the throne.
And Bob, what types of events happen?
Parades. They do a special Trooping of the Colors. The Trooping of the Colors salute the Queen every year on her birthday, and it's in June, even though her birthday's in April. You do the Trooping of the Colors. There will be spectacular street parades. There will be spectacular street parties. I happen to have been in England for her, 25 years ago. 20 years ago for her 50th. The outpouring of people on the streets was just amazing to see, with street parties, with bars open, just crowds and crowds of people. So if you don't like crowds, don't go. But if you really want to be part of what will probably be her last special type Jubilee, make plans to go. And we can get you there too. We can get you there a couple of ways.
Of course. One way is Queen Mary.
Yes, we have a lovely package going to from New York to Southampton, May 15th through the 22nd. It's a special theater cruise, so it's themed theater. We also have a post-London cruise stay that starts on the 22nd and ends on the 29th. So if you did want to stay for the Jubilee, we can add on a little bit more of a package and get you settled in. But if you want to miss, you'll see some of the hoopla, but you won't see all of the hoopla with this. But this is a great way to get to England. It's cheaper than business class airfare to go on the ship. For 7 days, with all these London theater people on board, London theater critics, it's going to be fantastic. And the food on the Queen Mary is, wow, it's really, this I would do constantly. If I could just go back and forth on the Queen Mary, I'd be very happy.
I guess the key is, Bob, that when you're talking to your travel advisor, if you're heading to Europe, you say, I want all the Jubilee, I want a little bit of the Jubilee, or yes. I want nothing to do with it, send me another time.
Yes. Yes.
But major thing to remember next year if you're heading over there, that this is going to be happening, so it could interfere if you're on those wrong dates.
It definitely will interfere. If you don't like crowds and you're not the type that likes to go to Disney in the summer, you're not going to like the Jubilee.
Okay, let's move on to number 3. Iconic
events. There are many iconic sporting events that people say, boy, I wish I could be there, or how can I be in that crowd that I see on the television? Well, we can get you there. We can get you into so many events, sports, golf, women's tennis, Kentucky Derby, the Grand Prix de Monte Carlo, Indy 500, New York Marathon. We can get you there for most of those events. The Monaco Grand Prix, actually 2 ways to do that, one on a cruise ship or one by buying a package on the land. We have access to tickets for all of these events. So if you want to do something next year, call us. What event did we do last year for the tennis? We did the tennis event last year.
World Team Tennis, that was at the Greenbrier.
Yes,
and now we're in talks to figure out for this next year.
Good, because people love that trip. Wimbledon, we've sold a lot of Wimbledon tickets in the past. So take a look at this, and there's other items we can add to it. But these are the top events that we have sold and hope to sell again, and you got to do it now. Again, in 2 months, you're not going to get it.
The important thing is we have the whole package ready for you. Yes. So if you want to do this and you want to do it the right way, we've got that whole package ready for you to do. And by the way, Winter Olympics next year, Bob, I didn't realize is scheduled for Beijing.
Yes, it is.
Which is
there's still debates going on.
I guess so. I was at the 2008 Summer Olympics in Beijing. So I was really surprised when I checked that. I didn't realize that it was at least scheduled. So we'll see. We'll see.
If you still wanted to go to the Olympics in Japan, we can actually still get you there. That's one event we can get you to because Japan the restrictions by the CDC were just reduced for Japan specifically for the Olympics.
Awesome.
Also, these include great seats with all of these packages.
All right, let's hit number 2.
Floriade in the Netherlands. We've discussed this before on our chats, but the Floriade is a wonderful event, best attended by river cruise or tour. The Floriade is every 10 years, they take an area of Holland, about 150 acres, that they make towns, villages, all through flowers. This becomes a city that people will move to after, but all the buildings will be green. It's all about green cities, how green cities are grown. It goes from 14th of April to October. Excuse me. But most beautiful time if you want to go and see flowers in Holland is in April and May, so we can get to the Keukenhof Gardens. So this is an example of some of the buildings they do. Each country does a display of their flowers. Malaysia brings in gorgeous exotic orchids and flowers that just grow in very hot weather. So it's beautiful.
And one of our suggested ways to go there is with Tauk on one of their gorgeous river cruises. Yes. I know that here are 4 highlights. One is this 8-day, and these include the Floriade. They dock really conveniently, very close to the Floriade. Yes. Is that right, Bob?
Yes, they do. They dock almost in the Floriade. Very, very easy to get to. And Tauk does it really, really well.
It's much closer than if you were staying in the city. Right. This is a great way to see it. And you get to be the first one because you're so close. You can be the first one in.
They get you in early.
Crowds.
Yeah. And it's really beautiful.
Here's another one.
And we're suggesting the April and May sailings because of lack of crowds. When you get into the fall, it does get colder. Some of the flowers are a little off peak. In Keukenhof Gardens, the tulips are not all going.
We also have the Rhine and the Moselle, and then Amsterdam to Budapest.
Yes.
On another 15-day. Well, shall we get to our number 1?
Yes, please. Let's
hit it.
Elvis Tribute.
It's our favorite, Bob. It is our favorite.
We've been doing this for 6 years with the Tribute Cruise Company, with the Tribute Cruises and Tribute Festivals. This is a ball. There are, I like to call them Elvi, that's plural of Elvis, but there are 7 to 8 Elvis performers. They're not lip syncing. They're singing real. They have the voice and the talent to go with it. They've chosen this as their venue and their experience in life. We know some of them. It's fun. It's next February 19th through the 27th out of Fort Lauderdale. About 30 hours of about 30 hours of private performances. We have the entire theater where the ice skating show is at night. That is ours. It is accessible only with tickets The entire package must be bought by Go Travel. We do not sell anyone else outside at all. A lot of meet and greets with them. The fans are crazy. The performers just love it. It's just, this is the thing you need to do to get over your COVID depression. Because if you're depressed after going to this, you are depressed for the rest of your life. Look at these people. This is the 2020 sailing, which happened. We closed it down a week before the COVID, our cruise ended. But really, it's fun. These people get so excited. It's not their lives, but it is their lives. And the performers are so gracious. I can't say enough. If you're depressed about anything, go on this. These people are embracing you. They invite you into their lives, and it's fun.
It's like going back in time, Bob. You feel like it is just a wonderful world, and everybody loves each other, and it is just a retreat, and it is fantastic. I didn't know much Elvis before I first went on this cruise, and wow, I just absolutely love it. Just the infection of the people on board and how much fun they're having and how much they love these artists, and they're just wonderful. So this is a great one. We still have some cabins left, Bob, I believe.
We do. We have about 15 or 16 balcony, which is what most people want. So make your reservation now. Get it on board. You're safe if you book before July 31st. If something happens, I'd hate to bring it up with the big C word, COVID, you may cancel for any reason up until 48 hours before and get a full cruise credit from Royal Caribbean. They don't refund you, but you will get a full refund. We also have travel insurance. Thank you, Rosie. Rosie Trick. Yes, she's gone in every one of them.
She loves it. She loves it for sure.
Definitely.
Well, fantastic. I think this was a great little summary, Bob, of just some of the wonderful things to look out for, because we know what is out there and we know what's filling up. And these are those things that fill up quickly. And even though we're trying to focus on summer right now and maybe kind of winter time, we got to look into 2022 because everybody is booking those things out. It's time.
Just want to do a little plug. For 2 weeks from today, you really want to turn in because it's going to be a real surprise for you. Our Tuesday chat is going to be very involved with a lot of people, and it's going to be a fun time. And I'm not going to say any more, but definitely plan on tuning in on the 29th. And next week, too. We like you every week. But the 29th is going to be really special. I think I just shocked Julie with that, but we're going to have a good time.
Yes, we will. Well, we appreciate that you joined us this week. Thank you. And please tune in next week. We are going to end with a little video to give you some inspiration for some of the amazing sporting events around the world. If any of these are getting you excited, do reach out to your travel advisor with Go Travel, and we look forward to planning an amazing adventure for you for 2022 or tomorrow.
Yes. We'll get you where you need to go.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us, and see you next week.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.